The Roth Show.
Horrible.
It's awful.
Horrible.
Yeah. Let's start right in just dishing on Roth.
Well, it's pretty much the show he did with when Howard Stern went off the air.
Yeah.
He took over. It's the same concept. He's pretty much, from what I was listening to, just telling stories.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. It's not that interesting.
And it's all over the place. It's more all over the place than this podcast.
But you know what? You know what's weird about that? I find that interesting. It's almost
really?
like waiting for the car crash. I just keep listening because I'm just fascinated with his personality, I guess. You know, I could listen to Roth talk all day because he's just completely
sometimes
out
it gets
there, you know.
Where's the music? You know, where's the creativity?
He just recorded Mustang Sally.
On purpose?
I haven't heard that.
I just sent it to Mark this afternoon.
I was thinking about
awful.
that.
It's just awful.
I was thinking about that driving. I was going one of the branches today, and I said it. And you sent me the song in a text, so I started playing it. And I'm going, where in 2023 does anybody care about David Lee Roth's version of Mustang Sally?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beyond that, who cares about anybody's version of Mustang Sally? Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
Then I started thinking, what's his target audience that he's trying to draw in? When he recorded that song, who's it for? Who's he expecting to
He's just bored.
listen to that? Or is it just for his own self-indulgence? It's just that he just feels like, I want to record Mustang Sally in 2023.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Van Halen faithful that's just reaching and grasping for any type of news and updates, and and that's it. It's sad is really what it is, and I think we're all coming to a point where we understand maybe why Edward was frustrated with him. I mean, you see Edward doing any of this back in the day? No, he was creating, he was building guitars, doing something,
Right. But the thing is, Dave wouldn't record that song in the 80s.
No.
Or he would have.
Yeah.
Why does he feel the need now to record a 50-year-old song in 2023?
Well, he kind of did with California Girls, right? Didn't that almost like break up the band or whatever? What is this?
It did, according to the TED book.
Yeah.
They were pissed that he even did that with Ted.
Yeah.
And that's where they were like, all right, we need another singer.
Well, you know what it is. He's not a rock guy.
No, and we learned that in the Rising.
We did.
Van Halen Rising. It's
he doesn't really
enjoy
showman. Rock music. He just, got involved with Van Halen's, and that's the style the music was playing. But that's not his background. That's not his roots. It's not what he probably even listens to when he's not.
No.
It's just not his thing.
I guess what I don't understand is, you guys are musicians, I'm not, but what's the value of wasted time? You know what I mean? It's like, when you think about, like, when he was, even like 5 years ago, you could still be making music and being creative, and, there's going to be a time where you can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? You can't, you could argue he couldn't sing then, but, he's getting older, and I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, when's the last time he recorded an original album?
That Me Wise Magic or whatever that he did was.
Oh, with Van Halen.
With Van Halen. I think.
Which was.
He had a solo.
Well, he's recorded a couple of stuff he did an acoustic song of remembering the old times.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, that type of stuff.
that was weak.
Yeah. But not, you know, he didn't go into a real studio, probably, you know, he didn't use a real producer or engineer, you know. Probably just winged it.
Right.
So,
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what his motivation is for some of the things he does. You know, why Mustang Sally? I don't even want to hear whoever wrote that song sing that song anymore.
Yeah.
Let alone him.
you may hear it from Dick Cummings when you go see him
Dick
tomorrow night.
No.
Yeah, well, it was when that came across my feed, I was like, what is he recording now? So
But where does he record these things? Does he go into like?
no, he's probably in his basement.
Right. He's got resources,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's renting time from Wolfie over at 5150.
Yeah.
By the way,
Oh yeah.
did I ask you this before? Do you think Wolfie records his stuff there?
Absolutely.
Does he? I
Of
don't
course.
even know.
Why,
I
what
think
else,
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else are they going to do at that place?
And you know what else I was thinking about him the other day? When he did the Taylor Hawkins stuff and everyone went off the charts with how he sounds just like his dad, I was thinking about it more and blown away that how he can not sound like his dad. Like he plays his own stuff and it doesn't sound like that. It's like,
Right.
how the
But
hell?
then when he wants to do his father's stuff, he can
Yeah.
sound just like his father.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't-
Because, you know, in relation to that, you look at Jason Bonham. He can't sound like John Bonham. He never sounded like his father. He doesn't play like his father.
Mm.
He doesn't have that. You know, when you heard John Bonham play, you knew it was John Bonham. When
Right.
you hear Jason Bonham play, I don't know, it could be any drummer. He doesn't have that, whatever that thing is, where you identify, like Alex Van Halen.
Mm.
You always know when it's Alex Van Halen drumming. You know what I mean? He's found a way to just develop a style and a sound that's unique to him. You know, like Eddie. So, but yeah, I mean, I think Wolfgang captures that, but then he can go out and do his own
And it sounds nothing like
it.
It's
It's
bizarre.
pretty amazing. That guy's super talented. I mean, you know, you spend
Wait.
your whole life in a studio with your father
Yeah.
playing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
And don't forget Val.
Well, yeah,
Right.
of course.
Let's see. Did you see I Thought of You when Twisted Sister played the
When?
other night?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Where?
Oh,
They
for
got-
the
they got-
Heavy Metal Awards?
Yeah. I saw You Can't Stop Rock. I watched the YouTube video today.
Oh, yeah.
Great
Good
song.
tune.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
It sounded great. They all sounded awesome. And I'm like, someone's going to say, guys, you can make some money. Go back on tour.
Yeah, yeah. He's pretty defiant, though, D. Snyder.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
got to
just
be
his-
on his terms.
Is it just him, though? Or is
Mostly.
like the others not wanting to?
He's been vocal about it, you know, that I've read, you know, they saying that it's over. I think when the drummer passed away, you know, he's like, that's the time that, you know, and I guess his solo career, he's still having fun. And I mean, it's not like he's making a lot of money, but I don't think, but you know, he's had some success. He's making music and so forth. So I don't know. I mean, is there really a demand for Twisted Sister? That's the other thing, you know. I don't know.
Is there a demand for any band from that era anymore?
Yeah.
Well, there's still the 50-year-olds that would like to go see
Yeah.
Twisted Sister play.
Yeah, for sure.
Not an album, not a, just out there.
Right, but what are they filling?
Well, they're not filling it. They're in a large
club.
bar, a large
They're in a
club.
club.
Yeah, I saw him play in Tupelo at the Tupelo in Derry, New Hampshire, and he played a lot of those older tracks, and he was great. You know, he banged it out. It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, good time.
Who was on drums for that?
Mike Portnoy.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
because he
My
filled in
God.
for them when the drummer died.
That's
I
right.
think.
Yeah.
Oh, he
finish
did?
it
Oh,
too.
you're right.
Yeah.
So he was on drums.
Yeah.
Huh. And it was French, Ojeda, and
French is completely bald.
Yeah.
who else
Yeah.
was in that?
Well, Perro
She's,
died, right?
The
AJ
bass player, Mendoza.
Mendoza. Yep. Yep.
The other Marco Mendoza, isn't he? Mark? Oh, he's Mark Mendoza.
Mark. Yeah.
So it was all the guys except Perot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, they have the
Interesting.
catalog.
ability. No, I mean the ability to go do it because most of the guys are still around. You know.
Yeah. Well, I took a note here. He was in the news prior to this because he was saying that Ronnie James Dio. What did he say? He said although Ronnie James Dio and Robert Plant were great singers, they were not great frontmen.
Wow.
And he made
Who said that?
D. And he's got
Robert
kind of a
Plant.
point.
Well, I mean, Robert Plant pretty much.
He was a frontman of the time.
Yeah,
Right.
He stood there.
Yeah.
He wasn't, David Lee Roth. He wasn't jumping off risers and doing splits But that, Christ, the guy was around the 70s. That wasn't the landscape back
They weren't
then.
doing
Yeah.
that.
No.
Dave started that.
But he had a presence. I mean, he was one of the greatest looking frontmen when you looked at Plant on stage back
Yeah.
in those days. If you watch Song Remains the Same, he was the epitome of what a rock star was supposed to look like back in 73 or whatever that was. But it wasn't about acrobatics like Dave turned it into,
Yeah.
But what defines a frontman?
I think he's thinking just rallying the crowd, talking in between songs, doing all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
Robert and I've never
Yeah,
seen
I know
Dio.
he wasn't that kind of guy. They weren't that kind of band.
No.
They let the music speak for themselves. The
Well, everyone-
songs
Right.
are great.
And you got to remember, at that time, they sat on the floor, like they had chairs, and they sat and watched the show.
Yeah,
Like,
they
it was-
were
Right.
You're right. It wasn't like. I mean,
Yeah.
that stuff didn't really start till the '80s
Yeah,
with the chaos at a concert, and the front man like rallying,
right.
being the MC for the
Like
night.
Dave.
Like Dave. But he started that. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't come along? Maybe that would have never even happened. They all learned from him. You know what I mean? Brett Michaels, and they all started emulating Dave. Because that was like the benchmark.
I think also too when you think about like that era and Robert Plant, the music he wrote with Page and Jones and Bonham, that did the work itself. You know what I mean? I mean, with all due respect to Twisted Sister, the swear. I mean, I went to I remember seeing them on the Stay Hungry tour.
Right.
And I mean, he was out there yelling at people, swearing and stuff. But that was part of the shtick to create some buzz around the band.
And tension in the night.
I mean, they wore makeup.
Yeah.
And he was into Alice Cooper, or he's still into Alice Cooper, and it was just, I think with Led Zeppelin, I mean, the music was, I think, deeper. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue that the music that Plant and Page
it was more
wrote.
prolific. I mean, they weren't just singing them like Dee's whole thing was, "Fuck you, I'm rebelling against everything." So he figures, if this is the lyrical content, I got to follow that up with the visual that goes along with that. You can't sit there and sing about "we're not going to take it" and fight for your rights and F you, and just sit there in the front of a mic like just singing like Robert Plant, with his hand out. And, you have to like back that up with something visual, right?
Right, yeah, but if you look at the 80s, right, to fast forward a little bit, and all those bands, and, look, the bands that didn't have the strong writing, right,
Needed
something else.
Right.
Whether it was throwing a guitar over their back, or the makeup, or doing something
Well,
ridiculous.
that was Poison's whole thing was, we're not great musicians. The songs are okay, so we're going to put on a show. We're going to throw makeup on it. We're going to shock you with the makeup thing. We're gonna have over the top pyro, and we're gonna go crazy. Kiss.
Have you ever heard
You know,
Poison's demos?
horrible.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
Really?
Oh
yeah.
my! If we grabbed some instruments right here and started playing, would be bad.
Yeah,
It
and they
is
knew
really
that.
bad.
They knew it.
Yeah. How
You
about
know?
that? How about that demo site I sent you this week? Van Halen demo, the
Wow.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, one was demos, and what was the?
No, that was. I don't think I sent you anything else.
Oh, somebody else sent me
It's
something.
all demos from like 75 to 76
Wow.
or 74 to 76. Songs you know, covers and songs I've never heard of.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I mean, they were in the clubs for years playing covers, so they had a
Right.
catalog of
Yeah.
cover songs that they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, before they started doing originals.
Before I keep going, you guys got anything you want to?
No, I just saw on Twitter there was because of David Crosby passing away.
Oh,
So we
that's
should
right.
probably bring that up. You know, that was awful. I mean, I follow him on Twitter. I was following him on Twitter, and he was very active. And you know, I've heard some interviews with him, and he just seemed to be okay. You know what
Well,
I
how
mean?
did he die?
Well, we don't know yet. I don't think that
Oh,
that's
really?
been disclosed yet. But he was obviously not
He was a
healthy.
mess, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he was making music, doing fine. I heard an interview. He sounded great.
Well, what about Jeff Beck?
Yeah.
Did we touch on Jeff Beck? He died in between podcasts, right?
Yeah. Did he say anything about Jeff Beck?
He had some sort of
He had
an infection, right?
he got
Bacteria?
meningitis,
Oh yeah.
bacterial meningitis.
No. Did Crosby say anything about Beck?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't
he
see
hated-
anything.
He hated Eddie.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Well,
I
they-
didn't see
come on,
anything
those
with
are
that.
totally
Yeah.
different worlds they come from.
But the Crosby thing was just I don't know. That sucked. I mean, I like Crosby still.
Yeah, they were great. You know?
I found when that happened. I found, and I don't have their albums to follow, but I always liked it. I like hearing the start of a song. Like I love demos. That's why I sent him that thing.
Right.
But I didn't realize Crosby, Stills and Nash has a demo album, and it's all their. I think it's Deja Vu, all the demos of that,
Yeah.
and it's very cool. You hear him talking, and
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just
Raw.
got a guitar and playing the songs, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah, raw.
yeah.
The I started getting into I don't know, over the last 5 years or whatever, listening to Steven Stills and how great of a guitar player that guy was. Or is actually just incredible. So we're gonna miss David Crosby for sure. But there was another article that said, well, musicians, older musicians that are still alive, and one of the names that jumped out to me was Roger Waters being 79. 79.
He looks great.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that old. I would, if you told me he was like 70, 71, that would make sense.
Yeah.
79?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got to
that's
remember when that Pink Floyd first came out.
Yeah.
60s, right?
Yeah, mid 60s. Yeah.
So that's kind of the time. David Crosby was in the Byrds, another band called the Byrds. This wasn't where he started.
No.
Wait.
He was in the Byrds, and then he met
With Beck?
Steven Stills. No, Beck was in the Yardbirds.
Yardbirds, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think he ended up meeting Stills. Him and Stills started doing some demos,
Well-
and then they brought in Nash.
It's a great
Young
documentary.
didn't come in till later.
Yeah,
Neil Young, he already had a career, I think.
Right.
he did. There's a great documentary on all that. I forget what it's called. But it talks about that, how they all met and how they were writing up in the
Right.
hills, and I forget what it's called.
And
Stills was in Buffalo Springfield, I think. And then Nash was in the Hollies,
You're right.
which was a British band.
Right, so they
Yeah,
were
I
all
think they all-
established.
yeah.
You could call them a supergroup, right? I would
Yeah.
call that a super group if you have.
Right. No, you're right. That was the first
Yeah,
super
essentially.
group. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, just the end of an era. You know, it's just.
but like you said, like with Fleetwood Mac, the songwriting was so good back then with these.
That Rumors album is just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
hit
it's just-
after hit after hit.
Now, you'd be lucky if you get a band can push out one good song on an album. And they usually, the hit single sucks.
Yeah. Or now they don't even put out an album; they just put out singles.
It's singles, yeah. There's no
3
albums,
singles a
but-
year, and that's it.
Right.
And tour.
Right.
So.
And it's all Pro Tools and auto tune and
Yeah.
fake this and fake that. And
Yep.
it just sucks.
Speaking of singers, ready? Rolling Stone listed its top singers of all time. Tell me who's higher. Ready?
All right.
Let's see. Chris Cornell. And when I say higher, like who's closer to number one? Chris Cornell or Kurt Cobain?
Cobain, only because of the popularity and the.
Really?
I don't think he should be.
He is. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my. Yeah, that doesn't make
Well,
any sense.
this goes back to why are bands from the 90s like Nirvana in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Deep Purple?
Yeah, right. Here's another one.
What a slap in the face, to those bands.
Roger Daltrey or Robert Plant. That's a tough one, but
I put Plant.
yeah, he is.
Plant.
But there's some weird ones like Halford and
Halford.
Rob
Right,
Halford
he's even in the list.
and
Yeah, I love him.
Bob Seger.
I think Seeger only because he's more commercial and probably has more.
No, Halford. He was 129. Bob Seger was 181.
Wow.
Glenn Danzig made the list.
I don't agree with that.
So let me.
Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, so Glenn Danzig made the. He was. I think he's barely on the list, but I just listed out the rock kind
Wow.
of singers. Axl Rose or Iggy Pop.
Axl.
Yeah. The highest rated rock and roll singer, I guess, is
Let me
Freddie
guess.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
14. But it was
Where's this list from?
Rolling Stone magazine.
What about Steve Perry?
He was on there, number 82.
82?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Tyler.
He's not on there.
Steven Tyler's not on there. Glenn Danzig's on there.
I may have overlooked it, but
David Lee Roth on it?
no. He's number one. And then another news story I saw. You remember the guitar that Steve Vai played on Eat 'Em and Smile? It was green and it looked like cheese. He called it the Swiss cheese guitar. It had like holes all in it. It was green with yellow holes all over it.
Yeah.
It was stolen on that tour back '86, and it just returned. Some guy in Mexico found it in his attic. He bought a house, found it in the attic.
Get
No.
out of here.
Yep.
First of all, how does a guitar get stolen on a major, because you're talking the Eat 'Em Smile tour in '86. That was one of the biggest tours of the year.
Yep.
How does that happen?
Just happens, I guess. I don't know.
It's got to be an inside job. How do you get at
Sure.
that guitar? Right?
I remember going to that tour. Or
Oh yeah,
yeah, remember
It's
that?
awesome.
yeah. I
Was
saw
that the
it.
one he
I
was
saw it.
hanging, like he was
No.
suspended, or was that,
That was Skyscraper.
Skyscraper? Yeah, right.
I saw that tour in Portland, and Faster Pussycat opened up.
They were
Oh,
always
wow.
a great opener.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
were fun.
they opened up.
I always liked them. They opened for Motley Crue and a bunch of concerts they went
yeah.
They I remember my friend Wayne was with me for the Dave show, and Faster Pussycat came out and said, "It's great to be back in Portland." And Wayne's like, "You've never been to fucking Portland. There's no way you've been here."
He probably thought it was in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What else? You guys got anything else? Iron Maiden. They get a stamp in the UK, in England.
Oh, really?
They have their own. They have their own stamp.
Wow.
Wow.
Only there. There's I think there's one of each band member, and then a bunch of Eddie.
It's kind of funny though, because
I was thinking about Maiden, and when you look at their website, like I went on their website, they're getting like close to that Kiss stuff, like a business approach.
Well, I was
you
just
know what I
gonna-
mean?
I was
Do you
just gonna
disagree?
touch on
I mean, they got some that they got the bear, right? The Maiden bear. They've got, the stamps now. But if you look at it, what they're selling, they got. I mean, I'm not saying they're the same. It's not Gene Simmons.
Well, this
but-
ain't the Iron Maiden
So-
you were listening to in '81.
Yeah.
This ain't the band. That band was probably shunned by society back then. And there's no freaking way they were getting on a stamp. But because of their nostalgia now, they're accepted by mainstream, people that wouldn't even give them the time of day back when they were, Killer's album.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all of a sudden now, they're like, soccer mom, level. You know what I mean?
Steve
It's
Harris
like they're
has
accepted by society now. You know what I
Steve
mean?
Harris is taking his bass strings and making bracelets. I think that's for a charity, but
Oh, yep.
they look kind of cool. They're a bunch of bass strings, and they've got like a skull on them.
Huh.
But
Yeah, they're a corporate machine.
they're all doing it. I mean,
Piercy's selling coffee. If you go on
where at
if you-
Starbucks?
Yeah, like if you go on his website, he's got like Top Fuel, I think is his brand, is his record label that he owns or whatever.
Way Cool Coffee.
Yeah.
So once you have a cup, you'll be back for more. Well, they all got to do something, right? Michael Anthony's selling hot sauce. Obviously, Hagar and his freaking tequilas and
we all bought Cabo, the Cabo Wab, or what was
I
that?
met Sammy at Shorty's when he was touring for Cabo Wabo Tequila
Okay, Shorty's in Manch.
in Manchester. Well, Hooks or whatever.
we
the-
don't-
Yeah, right, yeah.
yeah.
a promotional tour.
Yeah, he was out in promotion to a little guy too. I never met him before. Short little guy.
Wow,
He came there.
wow.
Yeah, I remember when you went there.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of those guys. Was it safe to say he started that? The Rockstar ventures, business ventures.
Yeah, I think.
What was going on before that?
No, I mean you're talking
I mean, he was obviously the most successful of
Mid-80s?
Jimmy Buffett, but
Yeah. Well, I remember the and I got the T-shirt from when Aerosmith opened up that bar in Boston.
Mama Kins.
Mama Kins. Yeah.
yeah, they were selling something too. I don't know if it was Joey Kramer or I don't know. Say it was coffee too.
I think Kramer has coffee. He does.
Yeah,
Yeah. Huh.
but like, how much hot sauce is Michael Anthony selling?
You think he has a big plant pushing out hot sauce?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, Hagar sold that Cabo Wabo for $80 million.
Right.
And then he started. Isn't he doing something with Guy Ferrari?
Yeah, that's the Santos tequila.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing another one with what's that? Maroon 5
Beach
singer.
Bum. Doesn't he have some Beach Bum rum too?
That's who he's doing with Guy.
Beach
The
Bum rum.
Mezcal tequila is with the guy from Maroon 5,
Oh, really?
singer, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not a big fan.
No.
Yeah.
A singer there. What's his
All
name?
right, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
All
What do
right.
what do we got for albums?
We got Triumph, Never Surrender, Molly Hatchet, No Guts, No Glory, Def Leppard, Pyromania.
What do you want to hit first?
You want to start with Hatchet?
Anyone?
Let's do it.
I get
Sure.
it right up top.
What was your introduction to Molly Hatchet, or was there ever one?
Flirting with Disaster.
Yeah.
That's all the only song I know.
Beating the odds.
Beating the odds.
What
yeah,
a
couple
tune.
tunes.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
good songs.
Yeah.
You know?
And that guy's vocals back then, Danny Joe Brown. I mean,
Distinct.
I mean, yeah.
They were. So my introduction. I had a brother who was 10 years old. I still have a brother who's 10 years older than me.
You still 10 years old?
Yeah. Isn't that
You
weird?
didn't caught up, huh?
No, I just had a birthday last week. I didn't catch up. He introduced me to them and Skinnerd and Foghat and all that. But they were always, to me, they were always the. Oh boy, hold on. They were always the dirty Leonard Skinnerd. They were the,
Yeah.
the rough and dirty Leonard Skinnerd.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at him.
You're right. And I think the other thing, too, about Hatchet, when you look at their career, they never had a stable lineup. Like, either they had the two guitar players, then all of a sudden the bass player quits. They have to replace him. He lasts 3 years. They get another bass player.
Right.
Same thing with the drummer. You know what I
Revolving
mean?
door guys.
Even Danny, the vocalist, I did a little research on him. I mean, he didn't stick around. I mean, he did the Flirting with Beating the Odds or whatever. He did a couple albums. Then he took an album off, and because he had health problems, and he came back for this one that we're going to talk about tonight.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's just really kind of an inconsistent lineup.
Well,
You
the
know
whole
what I mean?
band died, pretty much. The original band that
Yeah.
recorded "Flirt with Disaster," which I don't know if it's all the same guys on this album,
Nope.
but they're all gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's none
Yeah.
of them left.
Wow.
Uh,
This was their first album that featured that didn't feature a fantasy cover. You know?
Oh, it doesn't?
No,
Yeah.
it's got the.
It's got
all
like
them walking.
cowboys walking. Yeah, you know, I didn't even notice that.
One of them's walking with. He's just got bullets strapped around him. He's got no shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, typical '70s kind of. Even though this album's '83,
Yeah.
it's got that '70s look to it. But
Yeah.
Right.
but
Formed in '71 though.
Right.
yeah, they've
crazy.
been around. But you know what it is with Molly Hatchet? Even if you don't know this band, if you go into a record store back then and you see these album covers,
Yeah.
you're buying the album.
Right.
Yeah.
They're selling you on the album, like Maiden.
Yeah.
It's like I see Eddie on the cover. Yeah, gotta get it because your curiosity, you know. And I think they use the same kind of artistry through most of the album. Like,
They did. This
except
was the only one.
Yeah, and it draws you in, you know.
Yep.
I think the big thing about this album, we were talking about the cover, but is really when you look at like the producer. The producer is Tom Werman on this album. And to me, that tells you all you need to know with the direction of where they were going with this. Werman, as you know, was
Shout.
Yep.
Shout the
Crew,
Devil.
Dawkins. He did work with Dawkins. He did work with Twisted Sister. So it's almost like when a band hooks up with a producer like that, they're kind of telling you what direction they want to go in as far as how they want this album to come out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, Werman at the time has done some successful projects, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But it was more in like a heavier type of format that he was working with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they wanted to be a little more edgier than Skinner. I think they wanted that southern rock, but they wanted to have a little more rough around the edges.
That's the problem with Southern rock, right? When you think about Southern music, right? Skinner, Hatchet, Little River Band, Allman Brothers. It's almost like that line in the sand, or that you're Southern. You got the music, but do you, and a reputation in some cases. But are you country? heavier on the country, Blackberry Smoke,
or the
or
rock
are
side.
you more on the heavier side? Yeah, like you know what I'm saying?
Well, like Cadillac 3. I mean,
or
They go
Blackstone Cherry.
Right,
Blackstone
Blackstone Cherry. I tell you,
they emphasize the rock side of it.
Yep.
Where I think Allman Brothers emphasize more of the rhythm and blues countryside.
oh
They
yeah,
didn't go
100%.
hard.
Yeah,
They didn't.
and I think that like even when you look at like I'll give you another example, 38 Special.
Yeah.
Right, little southern piece there, right? Van Zant's brothers singing
Right.
on it. Yet there was more of a, they were pulling away from that country stuff and leaning more towards that pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Caught up in you.
Well, I
Fantasy
think
Girl.
it's a sign of the times. When you're in the 70s, I think you're going a little more countryside. By the time the 80s came in and rock and was becoming bigger, I think these bands were readjusting and saying, this is where, this is the times. You know what I mean? So let's add more of the rock flair to what we're doing.
Well, we saw it when the 90s hit. A lot of these bands, the 80s bands, went to a heavier sound and, thicker
Look at
sound.
Warrant. Warrant does Cherry Pie, and then next thing you know, grunge hits, and his next album was this dark, heavy. Nobody buying into it because it was Warrant.
Right.
I just think when you're talking about Molly Hatchet and you're talking about that southern influenced music, it gets a little bit more complicated because these guys or women or whatever are dealing with, like, there's a lot of southern country influence in their music. You know what I mean? Like even with Leonard Skinner, and I love Skinner. I think I've got all their music in some form or another. I mean, there's country music on some of those B-sides and stuff.
Yeah.
But yet they'll come at you with Saturday Night Special.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they're just so, like, they got great musicians, 2 guitar players, a lot going on stage.
Yeah.
There was just a lot happening there. But I think, and then you could criticize 38 Special like being like, they're Southern, but they went more Southern pop. Yeah, but they were successful. You know what I mean? And I think with Molly Hatchet, I saw Molly Hatchet live. It was fun. It was a good time. This was, 15 years ago. I went. And they always seemed to be like a band that had like an identity crisis.
Outcast.
Well, an identity. They're like, what are we going to be? Are we going to be like the Allman Brothers or the Leonard Skinner, but we don't have the songwriting
I don't think they're
to
good
back
as
that up.
songwriters.
So you hook up with Werman and you let Werman try to work in that harder edge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Totally.
But
Like,
I think
you
you
could-
hit it on the head. I don't think Molly Hatchet was as good a songwriters as Leonard Skinner.
Or
They just didn't have the
or I'd argue they weren't as good as songwriters as 38 Special.
Or Allman.
Regardless of what you think about 38 Special, right? The fact of the matter is,
They wrote hits.
MTV, they wrote music that was popular, and that was a direction that they went in. Like we will do music videos. We'll be, what was it Teacher? There was all.
Well, they
kind-
had some,
Fantasy
hits.
Girl, Caught Up in You.
I don't think Molly Hatchet's ever had a video or anything. I mean, obviously, I think Flirt with Disaster was before MTV, right?
Yeah. Oh
Clearly,
yeah.
there was
Was
no
it
opportunity
79?
for that?
Yeah.
But and that's a great song. They've had a couple in there, but I think when you look at their catalog and their longevity, there wasn't enough of that over that time span.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have enough where Skinner hits everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think even like Derek was talking about Allman Brothers. Allman Brothers were like, when you listen to them, incredible in my opinion, like a jam band. You know what I mean? They were musicians, and great songwriters too.
Yeah. Like the other band. Who's the band with Michael McDonald?
Doobies.
Doobie
Yeah,
Brothers. Just hits.
Hits.
Great song.
Yeah.
Just great writers. I just don't think Molly Hatchet had that great songwriter in the band.
See, at Doobies, to me, Southern influence, but then you saw in the 80s, especially with McDonald, I think the shift over to like pop. Like when you listen to some of that stuff in the early 80s, that's borderline. I'm not going to say not dance music, but I mean they're you listen to that McDonald stuff.
Well, his solo stuff.
That was pop music.
Yeah. They were
You know?
They were movie soundtrack songs
Yeah.
for a lot of movies and stuff. Because he's a great song. He wrote "I'll Wait"
Yeah.
for Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
They were having a problem with that song, and they went to him. He's a songwriter. Guy sat at a piano and probably wrote that song out, or figured out where they were having a problem in that song. I think they had the song, but it wasn't. They were missing something, and he came in, finalized the song. But he was that songwriter. They had that guy. I don't know if Molly Hatchet had that strong songwriter.
No.
I think they hit it a couple times. You write enough songs, you get a good song.
Right.
And they got a couple.
Yep.
But if you look at their whole body of work, how many?
Right.
I only know 2 songs from them. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I mean, everyone's going to think some songs are better than others.
It charted at number 59 on the Billboard 200 USA. Probably on the success of
Well,
Was it Beating
Flirting
the
with
Odds?
Disaster?
Yeah,
on the
Beating
previous
the Odds.
album?
Beating the Odds was right before it.
No, Beating the Odds. All right.
Yep. All right. First song. What does it matter?
What do you got done?
I got fast-paced rocker. I think this is really like an indicator where they're going. They want to be a little bit more guitars, more of a rock. This is Werman, the producer all over this song, I think.
Yep. Good riff.
Yep.
That's what I got.
Breakdown is good.
I got good
It's a cool
riff,
breakdown.
decent song,
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
in and out.
In and out.
And I think
Good opener,
I think the first side of this album is just the first 4 songs, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, cool. Ain't even close.
I thought it was all right. Decent rhythm section.
I got 2 songs in. I got same old predictable 70s, 80s Southern rock song.
Yeah.
Just nothing creative, nothing new, no risk taking. This is Color by Numbers Southern rock song that they've probably already written
The riff did
50
sound
times over.
Yeah. The riff did sound like typical 80s rock though.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. But I was second song in, I was like, I can picture my brother in the barn working on his motorcycle and this is blaring in the background.
Yeah.
It was just funny.
Exactly.
Sweet Dixie.
I put okay, not great, boogie southern tune.
I got more predictable stuff. Not bad, just typical, nothing fresh. It's not that it's bad. It's just they never reinvent the wheel. They're just rehashing the last 5 albums that they've.
I have that down later in the songs. I'm like, this sounds like another song.
It's just the same old thing. It's like they're all, like
I said it
Call by numbers.
kind of funny swing dancing number.
Yeah.
It's arranged well, but not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Fall of the Peacemakers.
I think this was a single, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Southern Ballad.
Right. Long song.
8 minutes.
I put drawing a comparison to the Allman Brothers was Skinner was like, is this their free bird? Where it's layered. And long.
I'm sure.
Well, they did the same. At the 4-minute mark, they do guitars outro. So it's an 8-minute song. First 4 minutes are vocals.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Free bird
And
without the writing.
He has references to John Lennon in here.
All right.
But
That's a slap in the face to John Lennon.
It's funny, these lyrics, huh? Follow the beat. Yeah, all right. Honey, you want to dance?
Yeah. Oh my god. What do we got? I got OK Ballad.
What's it gonna take?
Well, I'm still on mine. Mine.
I don't want
I
yours.
don't know if you want to hear it.
Doesn't
OK
matter.
Ballad.
Wait, let me predict what you're gonna say. Same old.
Well, it's a OK Ballad. I had a good guitar solo in there, and I think I liked the outro solo was kind of good. But as a song, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing great.
What's it gonna take?
Back to rock here, right?
Big chorus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I have.
I got OK song, not great.
Yep. All right.
Okay,
Yeah. What did this album do? How many copies did it sell? Do we know?
12.
Oh.
Well, Disaster was double platinum. Beating the Odds was platinum. And then that was it.
Okay.
But you wonder, how do you have a platinum album with Beating the Odds? Wouldn't you think the next album, Take No Prisoners, would sell because the album before was platinum?
Yeah.
Wouldn't your curiosity,
Yeah.
you want to buy the album? Back then, you didn't listen to it prior. You had to buy the album, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't that album at least gold? From just people
I
buying
know
it.
what's on it. That's another.
Yeah. All right. So what song are we on?
What's it gonna take? Side 2.
Oh.
Already on sale.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, we already talked about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You introduced it, but he wanted to back up. So, what's it gonna take?
I wrote big chorus like a hard rock song.
Yeah.
But not a great song.
No.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Whee! Next one. Kinda Like Love.
I got horrendous. Their attempt at a ballady hit.
Yeah, I put country song. Strange.
Horrible.
Because it doesn't fit with
It doesn't
what they're.
flow.
Yeah.
This is nothing about that song that's...
Maybe it was a leftover that didn't make the cut, but they had to force it in there. I don't know.
I wrote as of now the worst song on the album.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
And that was supposed to be the big hit.
And it was more country.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I read something about it, and that was the whole objective, was to make that song a big country hit for them.
Well,
The only problem is the song sucked.
Yep.
yeah. Kind of sucks when that happens.
Yeah.
All right. Under the Gun.
Another average song, fast paced.
I wrote, I'm starting to get sick of these songs.
Yeah, I got typical boogie woogie shuffle, Hatchet, same old stuff.
They had a cool little breakdown going into the solo. I wrote, kind of like VH used to do, which was pretty cool. And I wrote good solo, dueling, and harmonies that they would do on this. The guitar solo was decent, but like I said, I was getting sick of the song. I was looking for something.
Yeah.
On the Prowl.
I got best song on the album. I like the slide guitar work. That's it. And I couldn't remember.
Heavier.
Heavier. It wasn't a bad tune. I think it's their best song.
Nice tight ending, I wrote.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Both sides.
Oh boy.
Long song. Was this an instrumental? I didn't make it to the end.
I think it was. I just wrote, yeah, I'm out.
I put instrumental to fill time at the end of an album, perhaps. Okay, good guitar player.
Were there quotas on the length of an album? I wonder. I don't even know.
I don't know, but that song... I mean, the musicianship isn't bad on these albums. The guitar players are good players. He's even a good singer. It's just there's no songwriting.
Danny Joe Brown.
Yeah.
All right, say what you will. Does it hold up? Survey says?
Negative.
Nope.
It didn't hold up back then. I don't think.
When you read just as for anyone that's interested, if you read the bio on that Danny Joe Brown, it's pretty sad. That guy had health problems from the start.
Like
he had,
what?
he just had like liver disease, and he fought it out in the beginning with those albums, and then he ended up dying like at a young age. So I think that kind of hurt the band too, because he had such a distinctive voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Every time I start hearing him sing on this album, I keep thinking he's going into Flirt with Disaster. Because he's just so known for that one freaking... Like, is he going to start kicking into that?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Next one.
I got Triumph, but we can do
I
whatever.
don't care. Let's do it. Never Surrender.
Never surrender.
So, have you seen the documentary on them? Have you guys?
Not yet.
I want to. It's on my
me
wish
too.
list. It's supposed to be good.
Mm.
And I got to bring up again, Mark. We talked about this on one of the other podcasts.
What?
Them at the, I think it was the '82 US
The
Festival,
Us Festival? Yeah.
where the drummer is 80 feet in the air.
No, that was Priest.
No, it was Triumph.
No, it was Dave Holland and Priest. Remember? He was like up...
No,
Yeah.
I think it. Look, bring it up.
All right,
Bring
let
up
me
a
look.
photo of Triumph US Festival. But you
Yeah.
and I were talking about it on one of the podcasts. Like, it was just so freaking... Like,
Yeah, it was Holland.
you couldn't even see him up there. I wonder if they were both up there. Well, not...
No, this is Triumph at Us Festival.
Huh.
Yeah, pull up Judas Priest.
I could have sworn I saw live footage of them, and I was like, what the hell is he doing up there? Huh.
Let me pull it up. Yeah.
No, there's another one. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, look how high he is.
Oh, I
now.
know. He is high. All right, talk about the album. I'm going to try to find this.
I don't think it was. No, it was Dave Holland.
Let's see.
Yeah, look how freaking high he is. Look at it.
What the hell was I seeing? I'm going to have to send it to you.
From Triumph?
I thought it was Triumph. Maybe it wasn't even the US Festival. Maybe there was somewhere else. But he was like 80 feet in the air. It was silly. All right, carry on. So, two amazing singers.
For sure.
Well, I think Emmett's the strongest of
I don't know.
the two guys.
I
He's more distinct, maybe I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I like the bluesiness of...
Yeah, it's not a bad singer.
Gilmore.
I think it's just,
Yeah,
I think
like he's a little rougher.
Yeah, I just think Emmett's got a more distinct, like when you hear
Yeah.
Geddy Lee, you know who it is.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if I would know the drummer when I heard his voice.
And do you know why you've seen, like, when you look on YouTube, their US Festival performances are always the best? Like, out of, if you look up Van Halen, it's horrible. When I say performances, the recordings, I should say.
Right.
They owned all of that recording that they would, somehow they had it into their contract. So that's why they said that they had total control over all of that. And any footage you see from them, it's like perfect. And you're like,
Wow.
where's the Van Halen perfect? And you don't
Right.
get it.
Right.
Or where's the
Yeah,
Motley
you watch
perfect?
Yes Festival and Triumph is crystal clear. Then you watch Van Halen and it looks like it's from 1920.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, where's the technology?
Yeah.
Right.
So something to do with they owned all of that when they signed the deal.
Well, here's a little tidbit.
Okay.
In back 1993,
Way
lead
back.
vocals were, I guess Emmett wasn't in the band. Sebastian Bach was the lead singer.
What?
Right here.
What album? Oh, was
Oh,
it
it's Tour.
Tour.
So he went on tour with
You gotta
Triumph
be able to find that.
in
on YouTube.
'93.
Yeah.
that
Well,
he
he's
was
Canadian.
Still in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Canadian guy. Yeah.
That must have been funny. So who was playing guitar?
Good question.
Jesus.
Rick Santers, guitar, keyboards, backing vocals, 84 to 93.
Yeah.
Oh, or it's 84 and 93. I don't know. Because 84, Emmett would have been in there.
They had another guitar player. If
Oh.
you watch them live, they had another guy. I forget
alright.
who it was. It was that
So
guy.
I think in 93 he took over the guitar, what Sebastian sang the songs.
Oh, I gotta look that up. That's gonna be funny.
Yep.
Huh.
I'm sure Sebastian could, because he's got a high register.
Right.
Not
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian Emmett.
Oh,
He's-
yeah.
He's up there.
Yeah.
But I think Sebastian Bach in 93 could still do that.
Oh yeah.
He's still young enough to do that.
He was like 24.
Yeah, he was a young guy.
6th studio album.
Yep.
Reached number 26 on the Billboard album chart. Never Surrender hit 2. It says it hit 2, 3, and 23. I'm like, what does that mean? I guess it starts at 2 and drops to 2.
Right.
I have no
think you're
idea.
right.
Gold album.
Yeah.
Great production. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and who produced this now? David Thoner and Triumph. So obviously Emmett probably had his hands in there.
Yeah, and I think the drum sound too is strong.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, it was mixed well.
All right. Too much thinking.
Okay, Gilmore vocals, right?
Yeah.
You'll notice that they trade off, right? So you've got,
Yeah.
I marked down, I think Moore sung on 3 songs, Emmett sung on 4, and then
So it's
there's,
pretty even,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, pretty much. Heavy riff, guitars are just incredible.
So
you
who
know?
do you prefer as a vocalist in that?
I
band?
mean,
I'm just used to
I
Emmett
like
singing
Emmett.
the hits.
I understand what Derek's saying. I think Gilmore has
bluesier.
yeah, and there's a place for that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like Emmett at all, but
I mean,
Right. For me, I just feel that.
That first song though is setting the stage for what they want to accomplish, and I think, in my opinion, is like Rick Emmett is going to be established after this release is almost like a guitar god. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe that. I love Rick Emmett.
I do too.
I think he's a great guitar player. You know, I love listening to him and so forth. But I think that at the time when this was released, you know, what else is happening out there? You know, with other bands, right? I think Emmett takes a step forward here in terms of really being front and center with that guitar work. I mean, well, we'll get into it
yeah.
later. Songs.
I mean, the riff jumps off the page.
Sure.
Like,
Oh yeah.
it just popped into my head, and now that's all I hear.
Yeah.
And there's a great little. He does this little. There's a little talk box at the end of the riff, which is very cool.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got. When I first heard it, I'm like, who's singing on this track? It sounds like 2 vocals, but like you said, I think they're trading off, right?
Right.
In this song.
Yep.
Which normally they don't trade off. I think one guy takes the lead.
wasn't
The
even
entire
listening to
song, right? I got good opening live. Would make a great, opening song during that tour.
Yep. I
Something
wrote great.
you want to come out with. But I also got songs too long. What was the time on that song?
5:39.
Yeah, freaking song.
Yeah.
Is way too long.
Right.
They should have cut that down.
It's got a great outro riff too. It was a little different.
Yeah.
So. All right, A World of Fantasy.
Well, classic, right? Though.
Big song from them. Great
Yeah.
Emmett vocals. Intro, I think, starts like Roundabout from Yes.
Huh.
If you listen
Yeah.
to that song, they both have that kind of,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's almost like the same. I thought it was. I'm like, oh, what the hell? I know that song. But this is a big hit for them.
Yeah,
obviously.
it's on their greatest hits or whatever, best hits or whatever. It's what they're known for. He plays this song to this day. Emmett is all over this. The solo, just
great.
Yeah.
Huge chorus.
Yeah.
Big chorus. And the bridge, I just said the bridge is done very well. I don't remember exactly why, but I liked it. Next one.
A minor prelude. I just said great classical guitar work.
I wrote-
It's kind of like a short little piece, but his guitar playing is great.
Yeah, and I think here again, back to the point I was making. This is why is this on here? It's kind of, to me, promoting him as being a phenomenal guitar player, right? And
I think you're saying, like you said, he's stepping forward and taking control of his band, and I think he's almost making the band. He's being the focal point.
Yeah. Yep.
Which stands out a lot because it's only a 3-piece band essentially.
Right.
My issue with this is when you start having A minor prelude, overture, and it's the last one.
Oh, yeah.
You expect that from like more of a progressive Rush kind of band with these really intricate songs.
Right.
And none of these songs play to that.
I wrote that down on the last song. Very progressive for me. Like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right.
Yep. I wrote a guitar thingamajiggy.
Right.
Next song, All the Way. I just had meh.
Okay song.
Yeah.
Not
I
great.
put okay, not great.
Yeah, that's
Fast
what I got.
paced.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Filler.
Battle Cry.
Not a great song. Forgettable. I didn't enjoy that song. I didn't think it had anything.
Back to Gilmore, right, on vocals.
It was okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not even okay. I didn't think it was good at all.
I thought of your line from the last podcast of Storming the Castle kind of
Right.
feel.
Right. Well, Battle Cry. What do you?
Yeah.
Plays right into that.
Another oddity. Oh, Overture.
Uneventful. Song doesn't live up to the title. Like I said, overture. It almost sounds like it should be some classical piece with all kinds of musicianship all over it, and then you're listening to it going, "It's not. Those elements aren't in the song."
Yeah, I don't really
I
have
didn't
anything
care.
else to add. I mean, instrumental.
Okay, instrumental, but nothing. Overture isn't that classical sounding? Would you expect this? Like, wow, this is going to be a big piece. Overture, and I'm like, where is it?
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Never Surrender.
Forgot about this song. I think, the problem with this song is I think
They
it has
wrote it.
potential. I think it would have potential if it was 3 minutes. It's 6 minutes, 41 seconds.
Too long.
It's too long and drawn out, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, that's what I wrote. It's almost 7
A
minutes.
lot of these
Yeah.
songs are just too long.
And I wrote, let's rock already. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
But isn't it safe to say that
it's one of their
even
biggest...
a 3-minute song that sucks is too long?
This song's about 2 minutes and 59 seconds too long.
I got more forgettable stuff. No hook. Tempo change is kind of cool. I think they did a little tempo change in there. And, obviously good guitar solo. Damn it. But
Yeah.
as a song,
Yeah. I hear you. All right, next. When the Lights Go Down.
what do you got there?
I got heavy, good guitar work. I believe this is one of their popular hits. Maybe, not one of their A material, but I think this is one of the ones they used to play live a lot. 5 minutes, 8 seconds this thing comes in at.
It's long.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I wrote,
You expect that from Rush because they're writing like epic pieces. But these aren't that kind of music. So 5 minutes for a band like this is way too long.
Yep. I wrote awesome opening riff, which continues to kick ass bluesy riff. I talked about the vocals. I like them a little more.
Who sang on this?
Great solo breakdown with a talk box going. And then the outro goes back to the slide guitar that opens the song.
Yeah, closer
Right.
with it.
Yep.
Who sang on this one?
Gilmore, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Gil's vocals are better. I like them better.
So
Sorry.
I got great bluesy slide guitar intro, cool riff. I wish it was more bluesier during the song. Got like it wasn't bluesy, like they left it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they just went kind of straight ahead. Yeah, I wish it was more bluesier, like the intro. And I go cool wah guitar at the end of the song. I don't know if it was a wah or talk box or a wah pedal or something.
Yeah. One of them.
Kind of.
Yep.
Good tune. I mean, they're okay. They didn't keep with the bluesiness in the body of the song.
Yep.
You know,
I
like
agree.
if that was Cinderella, they kicked in, the whole song would have that bluesy feel.
Right.
Yep. Writing on the wall.
I bought my first real 6-string. Bought it at the 5 and dime.
Sing it, Mark.
It started just like that.
Yeah. That's an average song, huh?
Okay, song,
Yeah.
kind of
Emmett on
poppy.
it, yeah.
Yeah. The writing was on the wall.
It was.
Last song. Epilogue.
I got interesting piece, nice guitar playing. I liked it.
Yeah, jazzy.
Jazzy. It
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the rest of the album.
Right.
I said musically it was great, holds up, but I didn't turn up the volume. So, all right, cool. Well, we flew through that. Say what you will. Does it hold up?
No.
No.
Nope.
And I'd say no too. And it's just hard knowing some of their other work. You know, it's like
Well, like you say, I think the album before was Allied Forces.
Yeah.
That holds up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Huge
you got
fan
Fool, I got it up here. Magic Power.
Yeah.
Fight the Good
Did
Fight.
we do that one? Did we review that one? I don't remember.
No, I haven't done that.
No.
But that's got hits.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I hear you. All right. Mr. Leppard. Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Mind if I...
All right. So last
where we got
last
Def
album is Def Leppard Photograph. Sounds like my dog is outside. What's your take?
What is it? Is that your dog?
That's my dog.
You're barking it up.
It's a wolf.
So who produced this? Robert John Mutt Lange, which
Yeah.
he did most of their albums, right? Or,
Well, the first, yeah. So this is one of those albums, right? Classic. To me, this is right up there with, in my opinion, Back in Black. I think it's that strong.
Yeah.
But there's a sad piece to this too, in my opinion. And this was, in my view, the end of Def Leppard. You know, as far
The
as
rock.
that, they
Hard
had
rock
the
band.
formula, they had it. You know, and it was just, you know, you could argue like the other thing about. Go ahead.
No,
Dave.
I was just gonna.
You've got Pete Willis doing a lot of the rhythm work on this. Phil Collins
Collins
came
is
in,
in
yeah,
it.
but he came in. If you read up on it, he did a little bit of spot solos. He wasn't really 100%
No.
into this. This was a Pete Willis album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Pete Willis got fired from the band for, I guess, his alcohol.
Yeah.
His drinking. But this was it, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
some people would disagree, like, because, what was it, Hysteria?
I hated Hysteria.
Exactly, because I think that was the transition to more of like, they chose that pop. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the music videos. And this to me was like the Clark, the Willis, the rhythm section. Oh, it was, I just
And
remember.
what else is strange about this? This album came out in '83. They waited 4 years to make another album, which is unheard of
Well, the drummer lost an arm.
in the '80s. Yeah, but 4 years.
Yeah.
He could have grew another one back in 4 years.
Mark. Yeah, but 4 years.
I mean, come on.
He lost an arm. Yeah.
But-
So
My question is, if that didn't happen to Alan,
Would it have been sooner?
well, no, if they would have come out in an album in 84 or 85, because by 87, that's when pop,
Is that when Hysteria came out?
87.
Oh, yeah.
So that's White Snake, Here I Go Again. That was the landscape. So what I'm saying, if he doesn't get hurt and they come out with an album 4 years earlier or 3 years earlier, is it still the Pyromania stuff we like?
I don't know. I think there was band dynamics happening here. You had Willis, who was a big piece of that hard rock rhythm section, is now off the band. You've got Clark, who's got issues with, when you read up on the story, it's incredible. Stephen Clark drinking, his issues, he starts to fade away a little bit, and then here comes Phil Collin.
Yeah.
So to me, the band changed when Collin started becoming a prominent member.
You know how we can attest to that? He produced Tesla's last album. It was horrific.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be said for Phil Collin coming in and ruining that band.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't start.
But did it ruin the band? No. It took them to new heights of success.
Yeah.
But did it ruin it for the diehard
rock.
hard rock guys that like early Def Leppard, High and Dry, On Through the Night,
But
Pyromania? That was gone.
You bought Hysteria, or you went to see Hysteria, or you listened to Hysteria because of Pyromania, High and Dry, On Through the Night. But
course, and
your
you're-
wife bought Hysteria because
they
of the
love that.
because of the commercial success.
My wife would rather listen to Hysteria than Pyromania. Well,
Yeah,
I
Pour
know,
Some
Pyromania
Sugar
is
on
kinda
Me.
Everybody loves.
Yeah, Pour Some Sugar on Me.
They love that.
This was about, in my opinion, Willis leaving, Collin coming in, and then becoming more of a prominent guitar player in the band and songwriter, and then the slow disintegration of Stephen Clark, who was an incredible guitar player and songwriter. If you look at what he contributed to this album and High and Dry, but he was abusing alcohol and so forth, and
So it's funny. I always thought that this album. Well, first of all, they started in '77 by Joe Elliott. They did a demo in '79 and got signed. 2 years. Think of how long Van Halen played around.
I'll tell you what I'm most impressed with too.
What?
Is the drumming from a 20-year-old kid on this
Oh
album.
yeah.
I think the drum sound sucks on the album. I think it's overproduced,
Well, the whole
garbage sounding. But the parts he's playing for a young kid, 20 years old, was very mature drumming for a kid that young.
But I think when you think about like Def Leppard and those first 3 albums, and this album especially, what do you think about? You don't think like great, with all due respect to these players, great solos. You don't think of drums. You don't think of you think of rhythm section, right? And the vocals naturally, and the chorus.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
that's what you think of.
the first thing I wrote about Def Leppard is I never thought of them as a. There was no one in the band that just stood out.
Like
there was,
a virtuoso.
right. They were just musicians that
But
worked
you listen back
together.
to the solos.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, but they did. But it wasn't a guitar god type of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. So I didn't realize On Through the Night, 1980, went platinum. High and Dry in 81 went double platinum. And then Pyro went 10 times platinum.
Wow.
Huge.
You got to be careful.
Isn't that crazy, though?
I don't think High and Dry went double platinum until Pyromania and Hysteria, and they went back and
But
bought
still,
those albums.
it at least went... they've had nothing but success
Oh yeah,
from the start.
right. But those albums didn't go platinum. They came out.
No, they went back.
Yeah.
I think in this album overall, when you listen, this is Mutt Lange, who's a legendary perfectionist, right? And you can see how hard he worked with Elliott in the vocals.
Right.
I mean, that just comes across. You know what I mean?
I actually don't like I've talked to you about this. This album It's probably this album and then forward with
Sure.
Hysteria. It's like way overproduced.
Yeah, they're overproduced, and it got worse as the time went on.
Yeah,
Right.
The production. I was just watching.
but I thought on the stadium tour, they were raw. Like it wasn't produced. You know,
Right.
there wasn't backing tracks or anything. It was more live.
Mm.
Well, like I just pulled up On Through the Night, and this album went platinum. And I'm looking at the song selections, and then as much as it's songs we love from them and the stuff we would like, there's no reason for this to be a platinum. It was not a hit on this album.
Yeah.
Walk Brigade, Sorrow Is My Woman, Satellite, When the Walls Come Crumbling Down. That's a platinum album?
Yeah.
No, but
No, that's just these people going out
back.
hoping to reclaim gold by buying these albums. Like, oh my God, Hysteria is great. Pyromania, let's go buy On Through the Night. Then you know they got it home and went, where are the hits?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they already bought it, right?
Yeah.
So guess what? Platinum.
well,
There's no hits on this album. On Through the Night,
There wasn't any.
there's nothing. Wasted, Rocks Off.
Wasted's awesome.
Great songs for, us
Yeah.
metalheads and rock guys. But Wasted isn't a hit.
Yeah.
Hello, America?
That was their big one. That was their single.
I don't even know if I know.
You have to look up.
How does it go?
When it went platinum.
Well, I don't know if they tell you that in here, but
I want you to
High and Dry.
I want you to find out.
High and Dry's got one hit. Bring It On the Heartbreak. That was a big hit.
Well,
And that
all
went
right.
freaking double platinum off one song.
that shows you the impact of this album,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
how successful it was.
You know what's weird? High and Dry's got a song on it called what did I just
Let
see
It Go.
On Through the Night.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. right.
Well, hold on. There's something else I was going to say about this. On Spotify, listening to this, the remix version has these songs from '83 live, which is kind of cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got it.
You got what?
I got that on CD.
Oh.
Yeah, it. And that. They have it on a CD, and it's interesting. You got to listen to it, Derek, because the live stuff. Elliot is wasted.
Oh, really?
He's slurring his words. Check it out.
Oh, I will listen.
Check it out. But it's great. It's the original band, man. It's
Right. It's raw, right?
yeah.
All right. First song, Rock Till You Drop.
I got a classic Leppard song, strong Elliott vocals, good solo.
Yeah,
Just a great opener.
A great opener for an album.
Yep, agreed. Mutt Lang really working hard with Joe Elliott and his vocals on this one.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a basic riff, but it works. Like that's a lot of Def Leppardness. Like
Just
there's
an anthem.
They don't have like big riffs, the complicated riffs or anything, but the song works when it comes together. And a lot of their riffs I wrote in here from the early days remind me of AC/DC. a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I wrote great vocals kind of makes a song actually, like you said, Dennis.
Yeah.
Next one was a little hit, Photograph.
I
can
one
remember
of the
that-
biggest rock songs ever written.
Yeah.
Made them superstars. Great song, great hook, classic. What are you gonna say about that song?
I thought it sucked.
It's
No.
fucking
Pop appeal.
I can
pop
remember.
appeal, yeah.
I can remember playing hockey, and we just played it in the locker room. This album over and over and over.
What an amazing when they were on top. When they were the best. They were a band that could write a song like this and appeal to use your words, the metalheads and the metalheads' wives. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, people will, and to this day, if you play that song in a party, I'm sure our wives or us or whatever,
Everybody knows.
we're going to like it, and they're going to like it too. It's just
When it came out and you watch the videos, I couldn't categorize them. I couldn't put them in with Motley Crue and Rat and you know what I mean? Say these are just a metal hard. It's like they're they were a little bit more than that. You know what I mean?
But-
They captured bigger audience than that.
But you got to remember too, and I believe this, and I don't want to get too off track here, but when Leppard entered the scene with this album, there were two bands that were coming in. You had the British and the American. This was before the Sunset Strip days, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because we didn't get Crew and Rat and Doc and Cookin' yet.
No.
This was, I remember distinctively back then, you had Quiet Riot, what came out at the same time with that album with Cavasso and that band. And then you had Leppard coming in at the same time. If you look at the charts, those two bands were really kind of competing together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
because Motley Crue wasn't even they were out. I mean, obviously they had Too
Well-
Fast for Love, but they didn't really break. Because
That was a
that
demo
year,
for
though,
them,
right?
No, the strip didn't happen until I think the next year after.
When did Shout
this.
come out?
83.
84?
83.
83.
It's on the list.
So that had to come out
Later?
It does come
after
out
this,
later.
though.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
But I mean, classic song.
I wrote again a simple riff, but it all works together. The rhythm guitar kicks in; it just thickens up the song so much.
It's just a chorus.
And
Chorus is
yeah.
legendary.
Yeah.
Keyboard, yes, and a singable chorus that everyone sings.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's a
To this
legendary
day.
song.
Heavy keyboards, and I don't know if this was like their first time using keyboard. Do you know if on the other albums they used keyboards?
It's kind of in the back.
Bringing on the Heartbreak.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I should have went back and listened.
Well,
This to me has all the ingredients of what Leppard does successfully, and that is that rhythm section, as you pointed out, in the chorus, and those soaring vocals.
It's you say soaring vocals. It's funny. I took a note here. It's weird how the vocals bleed into the music, and then they don't sit on top of.
Right.
It's kind of weird,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of the effects that they use on his voice. But
so I'm looking up additional musicians on this album. Thomas Dolby played the keys.
On
this.
all the songs, or just
It says he's credited as Booker T. Bofin. And then another guy, Tony Kaye, played additional keyboards, uncredited. But this is a guy, John Congos, Fairlight CMI Programming. Is that drums, maybe?
huh?
I
Yeah.
read somewhere that
Yeah.
they said Rick Allen didn't play the drums on that. It was all
yes. Do some research on that. I heard that
On the
as
album
well.
or that song?
the album.
On the album.
That it's
yeah.
all it's all
No
what do they
way.
call it?
Yeah.
It's all
Track stuff. Like
yeah, like
triggered. And...
trigger or whatever they.
The drum sound is not heavy on this.
No.
That was one of the notes. I made.
It sounds processed, like fake.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I think they use drum machine.
Huh?
I mean, he shows him playing in the
When
video.
did he lose his arm? Was he disabled when he was making this album?
No,
don't
it
think
was
so.
after
It was
this.
after.
It was in between. the
Who
two
did they even
albums.
tour with on this? Do you know? They headline? Did they?
I think they opened up. They were still an opener.
Yeah.
I want to say AC/DC, something like that.
Huh?
Yeah, I think you're right.
That'd be something to look up. All right.
But I want to look more into the drumming on this album because, like I said, it sounds too perfect and just too precise
Yeah.
for some young 20-year-old
There's
kid
no
to be
sway
playing.
anywhere.
There's no sway, and the fills are perfect, and they look like too perfect,
Huh?
you know.
Yeah. All right. Stage fright. I effing love this song. I don't know why. They opened the Hysteria tour with this song, and I don't know if you remember, they were in the round and they had the curtain all around, and they opened up with that riff, and then when the drums kick in, the curtain just dropped, and it was just like in your face. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I just love the song. I love how it's all arranged.
That's funny you mentioned that because I got
Straight ahead.
great
Awesome.
opening riff, and I said it would make a great opening song back then in the day.
Oh, they on
and
Hysteria.
I never saw that.
That's
one.
how they opened up. You'll have to
That
look.
he did open with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You should look.
Another gem.
Yeah, I should look it up because it's awesome.
Almost like what's Tesla always open up with?
Oh, coming at you
live.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like
Yeah.
there's no way you can put that in a song except in a show, but first. You know?
Right. Anything else?
No.
Too Late for Love.
I love this song. I just, slow intro, the build up, and again, Elliot's vocals, it just.
So I gotta go. Another classic Leppard song, more great Elliot vocals, great song, great drumming.
Yeah.
If it's him, I don't know who's drumming, but
I wrote, let's see, damn, again. I remembered sitting at parties and all that stuff.
yeah.
I wrote large drum sound.
Yeah, I think it's a little
And
overprocessed.
there's a little double kick work in there.
I thought I heard that too
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah, like
You're like
it wasn't consistent.
It just stopped.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's the note I took, and I wrote a question mark.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Huh. Die Hard. Another chorus you can sing along to. Too Late for Love.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Die Hard the Hunter.
I got a great riff, more strong vocals, great song.
Yeah, I put nod to the early albums. Was this written in previous albums?
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And then kind of was a leftover that they added. This song came in at over 6 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Written by Clark and Elliott.
Well, I'm looking at these writers here, and I got a writer Lang who wrote every song on this album.
Yeah, Mutt
Mutt.
Lang.
Oh, Mutt.
Yeah,
okay, that's
producer.
Mutt. So he wrote these
Well,
songs?
he's got songwriting credit.
He must have credits.
All right.
on
Who
that.
the heck not? Yeah.
I got this Lang fella.
Well, some of them say Robert John Mutt Lang. It says Clark Elliott Lang, and when I see Lang, I'm like, wait a minute, Lang.
What's really interesting in those top 5 songs that we've reviewed, 2 of them were written co-writers, Photograph and Too Late for Love, Pete Willis. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the guy could write.
Next one, Foolin'.
I got yet another classic song. Great all the way around, legendary, period.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just
What are you gonna say?
love how this song goes from a
Great song.
kind of that's kind of ballady to a real rocker.
Rocker, yeah.
Yeah, no, I have an awesome solo section. Like the tempo pick up at the end with the drums. I wrote a note in here that I do not understand, but maybe I was drinking. I don't know. Oh, I wrote a Jeopardy question.
What?
I don't know. Carry on. Next song. Rock of Ages.
Another one of the greatest rock songs ever. Great vocals, great chorus, great solo, great everything.
One of the most memorable intros of any rock song.
One of the biggest rock songs in the history of music.
Yeah.
What are we gonna say?
You can name it with one note.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
No words.
what are you gonna
Yeah.
say?
It's a perfect song.
Yeah.
Of the Ages. It's the
Right.
Rock of Ages.
There you go.
Right.
Pardon the pun.
Coming Under Fire.
I got good song. You know your album's great when your deep cuts would be hits on other bands' albums.
Yeah, I
More
thought
great vocals, great solos, catchy hooks, and it's not even a hit.
Yeah.
yeah, I
It's
put
just
underrated.
It's a deep cut.
Yep.
Yeah, underrated track.
Yep. I just wrote
Great
it.
move.
Just another great song.
Yep.
Action, Not Words.
I got okay song compared to the rest of the album. Still a solid song though. Kind of has an AC/DC feel to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I got good song, maybe weakest track on the album.
Yeah, me too. But not that. I mean,
No,
be a great song on anybody else's album.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Billy's Got a Gun.
I put same formula here as Foolin', where there's the build up, you know what I mean? And then, but I liked it. I liked this song.
Yeah. Yeah, I got another deeper cut, but still very solid with great vocals and guitar playing. Good song.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, no, I had another great one. Another great 10. That's like a, we've talked about Van Halen albums, like no bad songs on the album.
Right.
And
this is like
an
album
album.
one or
Yeah.
84.
This is AC/DC Back in Black.
Yeah.
Is what this is. And to me, the other thing, and again, not to keep going to this, but I got to mention, the Clark is like the writer on almost every one of these songs except the first one in Stage Fright. So this supports my argument that when this guy started to become ill or not healthy and he fell off, starting the next album, to me that's when Def Leppard changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this album, I think, really means a lot in the sense that you had Pete Willis involved. You've got a healthy, for the most part, Steve Clark involved, and then after this, everything, in my opinion, went a different direction.
I wish we knew
I
some.
know, I agree 100%. It went a different direction. It wasn't a direction I preferred.
No, me
I
either.
didn't buy that next album. I didn't like any of the songs. I didn't like the
I went-
videos. I didn't like anything about it.
See, Clark was still in the band, but I think he was like
Well, he
nodding off. I mean, he had issues. I mean, it's well documented.
Well, he was in the Historia tour. I mean, he was on tour.
Yeah, he was a
So-
mess.
Yeah, but he
though.
was a zombie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious who they toured with.
Tesla.
No, that's Hysteria
Oh,
tour.
Hysteria.
Like who they toured with on this album, and then when did Phil join the band? Was that Hysteria?
Well,
No, this album he came
Contributed
in.
to?
He contributed with solos. I understood was solos, and he did some rhythm tracking and stuff. But predominantly, this was Willis and Clark.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, say what you will. Does it hold up?
absolutely. No. Yeah, one of the greatest
Gotta
rock
follow
songs
the
ever.
formula.
This album will sell for the next 100 years.
Yeah. There's a good chance, like, in another 10 years, someone will remake one of these songs close to its natural sound, and it'll be a huge hit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Like
Van
they do
Halen
with Elton
doing,
John, too.
or Van Halen did, with the Kinks.
Yeah.
That may happen.
Yeah, this album will never stop selling, just like Zeppelin 4 will never stop selling, the Black Album will never stop selling, and the Beatles
Every
White
rose
Album
has
will
its
never
thorn.
stop selling. They're on the charts. I bet if you look up Def Leppard, they're still on the charts. Because I know
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin's still in the charts.
Yeah.
They're always, it's just one of those albums, it's a masterpiece.
I think it comes down to also too just more locally in the sense that, like, if you're having a party and you're having people over, even today's 2023, you're probably, well, I don't know how we play music now, but if it's you're playing some of these songs.
It's timeless.
Yeah, you're playing some of these
Timeless.
songs.
It's timeless because it doesn't matter what the musical landscape is,
They hold up?
it holds up. You put this in your car in 1983, you can put this album on in 2023, and it's just as relevant. It's just as fun to listen to. It doesn't sound outdated.
No.
I mean, it's outdated.
It doesn't sound corny.
It doesn't sound corny. Yeah, like you're listening to, Theater of Pain.
Back for more.
Yeah, some old Rat album or something.
But it's also sad in the sense that this was it.
Yeah.
That was
After
it.
this, because you went to the show, we went to that concert last year. They're playing this music.
Yeah.
But
Some of
couldn't
this
you also
music.
say that for Injustice for All? Was that the last album for those diehard fans?
In my opinion, it wasn't a bigger drop off as this. This was ridiculous. Def Leppard. To me, I mean, this was
this was incredible. I mean, you went to, and you could blame the Sign of the Times when Hysteria came out. But my God, after that, the stuff that they were coming out with, I mean, well, not even close to the same band.
Yeah.
And I know bands evolve, but not like what they were doing. I mean, you listen to some of it was such, instead of going more towards like the harder rock, they went more towards like Britney Spears, like more the poppy,
yeah.
You know, like we want to be on TV. We want to, you know, we want to sell music or we want to appeal to a different demographic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what I don't get is this album sold 10 million copies. Diamond.
Yeah.
Where's the need or to change the formula?
Well, I tell you what
the hell's the problem?
Well, the problem
That's not
is
enough?
The problem is one of the major songwriters, Pete Willis, ends up having a drinking problem, gets thrown out of the band. So he's gone, and then Clark is abusing drugs and alcohol. He falls off. So now you got Phil Collin, and he's now becoming
the main songwriter.
Yeah, I mean, I think Collin becoming more a prominent member with this band was the problem, and he influenced the direction of where the band was going. I think if you had Willis and Clark, you know, in a good frame of mind, right, and being able to contribute like they did in the early days, you may have seen a couple more cool albums.
Right? Yeah,
and I mean, what do you say? It's like, okay, Collins comes in, changes the formula, wants to go more poppy. This one sells 12 million albums with Collin.
That was off the success of
and MTV and everything else.
And the girls.
You know, I'm not saying these songs aren't well-written songs. I mean, Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar. As much as I think Pour Some Sugar on Me is a poppy kind of lame, it's a well-written song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still got some of the formula. You got you got some of the formula still there, right? Gods of War, I thought, was an underrated album. First track, side 2. But you still had like remnants of that strong rhythm section still in Hysteria. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those Hysteria songs were written.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
During the Pyromania days and the High and Dry. But then after this, it just starts getting, what are we doing? You know?
I mean, what's the one after that? Adrenalize. That's when things were like going.
Should we?
Let's get rocked. Come on.
Oh, and they were following that formula for those singles. Like they had that.
They were just trying to recapture, you know, the same thing every album. Like, let's do it again.
Yeah, but they didn't have the guys that wrote the songs anymore. And the thing about it is I bet you Lang ain't producing that album. Is he on there?
Yeah, he is.
He is?
But he does he care? He's filling his pockets.
Yeah.
But the difference is there's a lot more non-heavy metal people buying albums than us. We're the minority. The guys are out there buying metal albums. Does not supersede the soccer moms and all those people out there that are buying Adrenalized. That's what their target market is.
Well, Hysteria, you hand the brand over to a whole different set of, you know, audience now, right?
Right. They're broadening it. It's like, okay, I can get Dennis every album that sounds like Pyromania and On Through the Night and High and Dry, but he's only 25% of my market share. If I write Let's Get Rocked, now I've expanded out to the other 75% of the world out there that is not going to buy High and Dry
because
cares about it.
Because Diamond was bad. That's the weird thing. Should we put together a serious boycott of Phil Collins? Colin.
Well, for what he did on that Tesla album,
Yeah.
too, it's horrific.
Yeah, well, there's
Why is this guy in charge
case
of
in
anything?
point.
That album's terrible.
Yeah.
And he produced
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Who said he's a producer? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it holds up.
Yep.
Certainly does.
All right. Anything else we want to mention? We may do. So we'll continue. Oh, I can look ahead and see what the albums are. We'll continue doing these ratings, holding up albums once a month. But we're kicking
How
around.
about shifting gears and do a different topic?
We're kicking around the idea of something else
Yeah.
to, mainly just to meet again.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not getting this here. All right. I don't have anything else, and I can't bring up this document that I'm trying to bring up.
No,
All
this
right.
this is awesome, and hopefully.
Wait, let's just say this too. Pyromania is probably the most, out of all the albums we've done so far, reviewed. This
The
one,
biggest success.
it fits our motto of, say, does it still hold up, right? Like, this is the best one out of all of them so far.
So
that
far.
really holds up.
Have we had another hold? We haven't a lot of doesn't hold up.
No, we've had some good ones.
What do we have that held up?
I can't bring up this document. We've had some good ones.
Not lately.
No. Well, like I said in the last podcast, this year of 2003, 1983, is when
Scream
they
for
all
Vengeance.
have it. Yes.
That holds up.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Last year. Yeah, I don't.
I think it was Scream for Vengeance was a big one.
Like, we reviewed Kiss.
I mean, you can.
Oh, Scorpions Blackout was a pretty good one.
Yeah, but did it hold up? I don't.
I
Yeah, I think it might have.
Aerosmith Rock in a Hard Place. We did.
Yeah.
Um,
Which surprisingly was good.
yeah.
Better than I thought. Because I don't even think Perry's on that album.
Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good album. But it'd be safe to say that Scream for Vengeance is almost the same model as
Yep.
Pyromania and Back at Black.
100%.
As far as songs, strength,
Incredible.
hits,
Yeah.
Yep.
it goes right in. And that was right around that era too. That was 82, but I mean,
I think what's really cool about what we do, and especially talking about this, is, we're really recognizing some of these people for their, what they created. Like Clark. No one's talking about Stephen Clark or Pete Willis,
No.
whatever today's date is.
No.
But we are.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's it's a, like I said, a nod to the what they created. And
well, I mean,
The art.
how many people, even Def Leppard fans, that are into the first three albums, even know who Pete Willis is?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What they should.
He's not like 80,
And-
where of course they should.
you
Just
know.
like nobody knows John Sykes wrote the Still of the Night album.
Right.
You know
What
I
I
mean?
think sucks, and I think is like when you see bands like the Def Leppard lineup now, and just the people, like some of us go and we're like, you see like Vivian Campbell up there, who's a great guitar player and all that, but it's like he doesn't belong in Def Leppard. You know what I mean? It's like what.
He
I
lives
mean, you
locally.
can do it. Yeah.
he's
He's,
Right over in Newcastle.
that's right. I heard that.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. You know what?
I don't know where.
I Googled his name one time because I heard that, and his name came up in a planning board meeting at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was looking for an ordinance for his property to expand it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Newcastle's very fancy. So.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an island.
Okay.
So. All right. Anything else?
I was going to say something. I don't remember what the hell I was just going to say. Well, we're talking about Campbell. Why does he join that band? Because it's not for his
to stretch
guitar.
his musical ability.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when he was in Dio on those first, Last in Line, Holy Diver, the guy had all the freedom in the world, was ripping guitar on those albums.
Right.
When he goes into this Def Leppard, is he satisfied with his role in that band as a guitar player?
Making money.
When you watch him on the tour that we just saw this
Bored.
summer, he looks like he's sleeping.
I noticed that. I thought that he almost like backed off. It's like Phil with most of the guitar solos and stuff
That's
like
a cash
that.
grab.
And I'm thinking to myself, this guy could probably play circles around Colin.
Oh, of course.
You know what I
could.
mean? And he's like he was like almost like under control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, I'm sure he needs to make money. And you talk about a guy that's also battling cancer, or he had cancer. I don't know. I think he's doing better now, but he's probably.
Well, what's his alternative?
I mean, this ain't the bad life, right?
No,
I mean,
his
he's selling
alternative
out
is
Fenway Park.
Yeah.
I mean,
he could be like Jakey Lee playing bars.
yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's telling himself, yeah, maybe I could do something more creative and expand, my musical abilities and there, or I could take the money and run. And I think that's what he decided
exactly.
to do.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why
right.
he's got a nice house in Newcastle, right? It's not because, he was in Dio,
No. Well,
So yeah, I mean, I guess you got to think of it as a business.
Why don't you listen to the new album for us, Dennis, and see if he does any shredding?
what's that? The
new Def Leppard album. I'm
haven't-
gonna pass, but you can.
Yeah,
go ahead.
thank you. And I'll report back on it.
Yeah.
But I will make this point about Vivian Campbell. It's interesting that he has time to play in that Last in Line band.
Oh, that's right.
It's almost like all right, I'll do the Def Leppard thing to pay the bills and live comfortably, but I want to play guitar.
Right.
And I want to
wanna
play
go rip.
guitar and shred with the Last in Line. You know what I
Right.
mean?
He's
Like,
got
you
to get that out of his system.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's interesting. So
And he might have other side projects that we don't even know about, because there's no way he could be satisfied just playing with Def Leppard.
Oh, he looked completely bored.
yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
Cool.
Anything else?
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Over and out.
Nighty night.